You are one of the 7.8 billion people on Earth. But what does that mean exactly? How can these 10 digits adequately reflect the size and number of our species? Can we truly understand our impact on this planet at this moment? To grasp our influence on Earth, let's consider some statistics. For instance, how many cars are on the road simultaneously, or how many emails are sent on YouTube. But maybe we could learn more if we removed everything. In this episode, we will discuss what would happen if all humans were to suddenly disappear from Earth. The moment humans vanish, chaos would immediately ensue. Trains, planes, cars would be driverless, massive power outages would occur worldwide, and coal-powered electricity would vanish, as fuel would no longer be transported to the plants. Simultaneously, hydroelectric plants would stop without human supervision. On the second day, computers would make decisions on their own, and nuclear power plants would shut down. To prevent a disaster, the world would be left entirely without energy. But at least the nuclear crisis would be temporarily averted. On the third day, London's Big Ben would chime for the last time, as it requires maintenance every 3 days. Streets populated by wild animals would become commonplace. Thousands of pets from zoos would somehow escape captivity or suffer from starvation. In 10 days, safety measures in nuclear power plants would fail, causing explosions and releasing toxic radiation worldwide. Wildlife and flora in affected areas would perish, but in other places, different species would thrive. Whole herds of cattle would migrate north to the vast North American plains, where they could breed freely. Supermarkets would be infested with mice and rats, while domestic animals like dogs and cats would revert to being wild to survive for a few years. Cities we recognize today would turn into failed natural imitations, and by far, today's tourist attractions would become ruins. After 30 years, our satellites sent into orbit would start falling back to Earth. Our homes, including weathered scarecrows and eroded landmarks, would collapse in some areas, and entire cities would be claimed by the oceans, while ships in ports would sink during erosion. Despite global warming continuing for about 40 years, temperatures would increase unevenly, but the environment would gradually recover. After 60 years, marine life would rebound. After centuries of overfishing and changes, urban environments would return to their natural state. London would revert to being a marsh, and in northern cold regions like Canada, building skeletons would be covered in layers of ice and snow. Las Vegas might resemble a gigantic sand castle in 230 years. Vegetation that quietly developed without human interference could finally eliminate excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Immense forests would stretch across Europe, and the only evidence that we ever existed would be pieces of metal or plastic that would still be visible. Today's tourist attractions would deteriorate over the years until they become ruins. In 500 years after human disappearance, the planet's forests would reach their highest point in the last 10,000 years. The natural world would almost completely erase any trace of human existence. Of course, even after 25,000 years, some of our plastic waste would still endure, along with everything we left behind in past lunar expeditions. So, if you've ever wondered what it means to be one of the 7.8 billion people on Earth, consider that it would take more than 25,000 years for any trace of our presence to disappear. Our impact on the environment is enormous and incredible, and even though it's not easy to disappear all at once, we shouldn't treat our planet as a gift we've received, and for which we're not responsible. How will you help make our world a better place? Write in the comments and don't forget to subscribe if you like it.